I have. I find this gentleman walking along the beach here, like many people, Fiona, taking a morning constitutional. Basically, before you go into work. His name's Alan Brayshaw. He lives locally here. Yes. And Alan, you know where they say every cloud has a silver lining? Well, every wind blows some good as well. Now, I do have to say, very, very windy it has been last night and today, but it's welcome here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very, very welcome here in Cape Town. The wind that we're experiencing right now, in actual fact, is pretty normal. We call this wind the Cape Doctor, because it blows all the pollution out to sea. So whatever pollution is hanging over the city, when the wind comes up, it blows it away completely.
It is a very fresh city. I mean, it does seem to be a nice atmosphere about it.
Very much so, very much so.
But of course, we should also say, Fiona, that KwaZulu-Natal on Monday night, a tornado's been tornadoes 3 nights in a row, and 20-odd people are dead there. We're on the west coast, and that's over there on the northeastern coast.
Yes, east coast.
But it's all the Cape of Good Hope, as you'll probably know from your history books at school. And that's the Atlantic out there, and it looks lovely, it really does. We're going to be back very, very shortly and showing you what your money can buy you out here in terms of property. Maybe houses like these would take your fancy with a sea view.
Eamon out of Africa, in association with South African Airways.
Hello there, on a Wednesday morning, GMTV live from Cape Town in South Africa. This man's an estate agent, so he is, and Camps Bay, which is where we are now, and it's not always windy, I'm sure you can assure me, but let's have a look at the houses around here, the sort of houses that you would get here. What would you pay for a property overlooking the beach here, Andrew?
You're looking at about R1 million, £100,000 for a property that we're looking at here. The position in this instance is fairly expensive, but a property this particular property around the corner would cost about £40,000, so you're in a fairly expensive area here.
Right, goodness me. So basically, if we're looking at this one straight in front of us here, this one here, Martin, let's have a look at this one with the brown window frames right on the seafront there. You would reckon about £100,000. That looks like a 4-bedroom house to me there.
4-bedroom house, probably with a pool overlooking the ocean. Somewhere in the region of £100,000.
Well, that would give a lot of people a lot of ideas. Who from Britain has sold up and come here?
Well, we've had a number of Britons over the years. Somewhere in the region of 10% of our sales are to people from the UK. Yeah. And that number seems to be increasing.
Yeah. I just saw a gentleman again down the beach. It's amazing who you pick up to. Sorry about all this wind and confusion here this morning. We're holding on to signs and everything. Rodney Kitchen here. Rodney, how are you doing? Rodney, where were you telling me you'd moved from in England?
From York.
From York. You did it 4 years ago. You were sorry. So we just make it up as we go along here.
Okay.
You moved 4 years ago.
Yeah, from York.
Right. And what did you sell and what did you buy here?
I sold a flat in Malton, just outside York, for £100,000, and I finished up with a £1 million property in Trainers.
Yeah, that's not as good as... Don't talk rands. What's that in English?
£100,000.
100,000 for 100,000.
That's right.
Now, is your property the same, better?
Oh, much better.
How much better?
I have a pool, 3 bedrooms, and even have a maid as well.
Really? That sounds all right. No regrets?
No regrets at all. And a new wife as well. So
it's all worked out for you.
Yeah,
very nice.
Thank you.
Sorry for disturbing you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
You continue your walk.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You see, I like this about the whole overall lifestyle. These people are literally walking along the beach before they get into work. Or
yeah, I think that in our experience, most of the decisions that are made are lifestyle decisions. People come over, take a look at South Africa and buy for lifestyle reasons, apart from the financial advantage of the rand-pound exchange rate.
And what qualifications do you need? I mean, I suppose you have to apply for citizenship as such, or can you buy a holiday home here?
Well, there are a number of categories, so you can certainly buy a holiday home, but then that puts you into a non-resident status. But you're able to buy a property as a non-resident at any time.
And if you had 700,000 quid or so to spare, this is the sort of thing that you could be moving into. Much of these in demand?
There's a surprisingly high demand for this kind of quality property, but this is right at the top end of the scale, and it's an outstanding property.
Yeah. A lot of people tell me that you actually don't have things like central heating here because you don't need them.
There's no central heating needed, yeah. We've got climate on our side.
Climate on your side, okay. And a very, very strong wind today. Andrew, thank you very much indeed. Nice talking to you. Thank you very much indeed. Now, this beach is called Camps Bay, and that's the Atlantic out there. It's a beautiful, beautiful turquoise colour. Perhaps not as warm out there, though, as it may look, because the Atlantic is rather cold. But the whole Cape of Good Hope surrounded by beaches, and about an hour's drive away from here, there's a town called Simonstown, and it used to be a naval base. And beside that, there is a beach called Boulders Bay, Fiona. And when you walk down to Boulders Bay, it is packed. But it's not packed with people. It is absolutely packed with penguins. And you can certainly pick up a penguin here very, very easily. Now, I thought, as I'm sure you did, that penguins are associated with ice and snow and whatever. But apparently only 3 penguin species in the whole world of 17 different species live in snow and ice. And an awful lot of them, a lot of colonies, all live around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa. And there you go. So a nice sight that is. And you know what, Fiona?
Yeah.
Penguins, when we were looking at them walking along, they congregate in couples. And they're in couples for more or less life. And when they're not with their partner, they pine and they get quite despondent and whatever. And, you know, it's a good job you and me aren't like that, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it just? Well, do you know what? I was bitten by a penguin when I was 4 years old on the cheek at a zoo. It took a dislike to me.
Says it all. See, says it all. Well, that's good.
Do you know what
so
you
we'll try and pick up a few more strange...
All right, go on,
Yeah?
carry on. Carry on.
No, you first.
I was just saying, so it's just like old times. It's Zoe's hair, isn't it? I was just saying, you look gorgeous this morning because you match your surroundings. You're sort of Asia blue. It's gorgeous. Match the sky, the sea, and all the men you've been talking to have got the corresponding ties on and everything. Always been blown away.
Oh, well, you see, you think all these things just come together. It's all planned.
Yeah.
But this wind, I mean, you've really got to feel this to believe it. And Martin, show us the top of that mountain there again. Because, Fiona, just to reiterate, that's where we were yesterday, all that grey cloud. And if we were up that mountain today, I think we'd fear for our safety.
Yes, you would. You don't look too safe down there, but hopefully... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Eamon,
See you later.
All right, you go and sit down somewhere. Oh, it's a shame, isn't he? He looks all vulnerable all of a sudden, doesn't he? OK, the time now is 22 minutes past 7. Oh.
You know, this is the country for the great outdoors. They all have great outdoors. These lads are all from Cardiff, and they were practicing their bunker shots here on the beach here. Whitchurch Golf Club in Cardiff.
That's right, Eamon.
Yeah, and what's the golf like here in South Africa?
It's been really excellent. We've been playing in Johannesburg and Sun City, and we just arrived here in Cape Town. We're playing today, and it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been great.
Excellent. Now, what about all your poor friends who are watching in Cardiff this morning in the middle of a Welsh winter at Whitchurch Golf Club?
Well, I think, Eamon, you can see the guilt etched across our faces here, and the one thing that we haven't seen here is courts closed.
Courts closed. No, you won't get that. No, you won't get. Yes, they will.
They will, indeed.
No, they'll not be playing off winter greens or winter teas or anything else. Lads, thank you very much indeed. You can have that back.
Thank you.
You can have that back. As I say, with the weather, people in Cape Town are very much, they're outdoor people. Sport, barbecues, walking, hiking, all sorts of things like that, and also swimming and sports in the sea. Very shortly, we're going to show you a film with Lucy Vandenbril, who went swimming with sharks. Lucy had a cage around her. This young chap, Mark, who's 16, had not. And Mark, am I right in saying?
Yeah, this is where the shark bit the board.
That's where the shark bit the board. That is the net result. We will have Mark's story and Lucy's film right after this break.
Only £499. GMTV have teamed up with Media Travel to bring you this unbelievable offer. Ring 01784 434 434 for details. The price includes return flights on South African Airways, superb hotel accommodation, and the services of a professional tour manager throughout. You can add optional excursions if you wish, or even extend your visit to see more of this amazing country. The great exchange rate means tremendous value with many items cheaper than at home. You won't find this holiday in any travel agent, so call the 24-hour brochure line on 01784 434 434 or turn to Teletext page 642 for details of this offer of a lifetime.
People say she's crazy.
Including collaborations with Paul Simon and Dolly Parton. Plus the heartwarming music from the Heinz TV commercials. The best of Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Out now on CD and cassette.
Eamon out of Africa, in association with South African Airways.
Sunshine with your breakfast. GMTV broadcasting live from the Cape Town area. This beach is called Camps Bay. The time some 2 hours ahead of you, coming up to 10 to 10 here, and the temperature already reaching 30 degrees. Now obviously with weather and conditions like this and a beautiful sea like that, the outdoors plays a great part in the lives of people who live here. We hear about the safari adventures and going to see the animals there, but what about swimming with the animals? That's what Lucy Vandenbroel did near Port Elizabeth, some 2 hours drive away from here, and she went swimming with the sharks. Would you do it?
This morning I'm taking part in a diving experience which is proving highly popular here in South Africa, especially with visitors, but also highly controversial. What I'm about to do is go diving with sharks. A face-to-face encounter with one of the world's most terrifying killing machines is not everyone's idea of fun. But just off Cape Town, it's a business that's booming. The privilege of meeting a great white doesn't come cheap, around £100, but the day trip is in huge demand. We're now about 8 miles from the coast in an area known as Shark Alley. This is actually where the sharks come to feed on the colony of seals that you'll see behind me. Or at least that was the great white staple diet until humans became involved. This year has seen a sharp rise in the number of shark attacks on people, and it's the tour operators who are being blamed. The controversy lies in the chumming.
Sardines or pilchards.
Sardines, right?
Yeah, that we use. We crush it in the bucket.
You're going to crush them?
Yes, okay. And
yes.
we mix it with shark liver.
With shark liver?
Yes, because it's a very oily substance in the liver.
And will the sharks be attracted to that?
Yes, you have to give the shark something that he knows.
Operators like White Shark Eco Ventures are licensed and highly professional, but many experts believe that chumming conditions the sharks into associating humans with food, a deadly combination.
The shark will come, will get the scent.
Yes.
Will come in the chum line up towards the boat.
At this point, our conversation was cut short. We had a visitor.
Oh, look at it. Oh, nice big one here. Oh, yeah. There he goes.
Now we've seen plenty of shark activity. The cage is already in the water. We're going to put on our wetsuits and get in. The movement of the cage, because the current is so strong, means it's very hard to actually hold on to the cage. But you can see a great deal, visibility is very good. And the sharks are incredibly impressive, but very, very frightening.
Well, Lucy, very, very brave, but she went looking for sharks. Mark Yucca didn't go looking for a shark, but that shark came looking for you, didn't it, when you went in surfboarding? And there is the damage. That's a shark's life. Did that make you wince even looking at that today?
Yeah, it did.
I'm sure it does. Tell me your story. What happened to you? This was last May.
Yeah, well, I was surfing at a place called Sardinia Bay, 3 of my friends, and the waves were pretty good, and we're about 300 meters out on this bank, and then we're just sitting there, and as soon as a set came, we started paddling, and the shark just hit me from underneath on my right-hand side, and it felt like a train hitting me. And it took a chunk out of my arm, on my tricep, and off my board, and it just threw me to the side, and I had my back facing it, so when I landed in the water, and I looked at my arm, I just saw this huge hole, and then I was like laying scared and stuff.
Well, why did it leave you alone? Where did it go to?
Well, it had my board in its mouth, and it was like thrashing the board around about 2 meters away from me. So when I turned around, I just saw it. It was like thrashing around.
Well, what do you think of this whole thing called chumming that Lucy was talking about actually baiting these sharks?
I don't think it's that good, because especially if they do it close to the beaches and stuff, or where surf spots are, then it just attracts the sharks there and stuff.
But you know that the odds of this happening are millions to one. Unfortunately, it did happen to you.
Yeah.
Now, if this happened to me or anyone else, I would never be in that water again, but you and your mates are ready to go today again.
Yeah.
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 Well done, Mark. Thanks for telling us your story, and glad you're well on the mend and no lasting damage. Thank you very much indeed. Well, there is to the board, but that's about it. From Cape Town back to London.
Eamon, thank you very much indeed. Well, it's windy in South Africa, where Eamon is. Temperatures in the 30s, though. What's it like here, we wonder? Here's Andrea. Hi, Andrea.
Well, not as scary, that's for sure, Fiona.
They're the minstrels, and they're singing Cape Town is the place for me. Now,
I need a support act.
you need a support act. Now you've got one, well and truly. I had one of those dilemmas, Phil. You know where you go around shopping and you think, what should I bring? Well, you know, here's a place I stopped off by the side of the road, and you sort of look at these things and you say, can I afford this? Do I really want this? What would I do with it when I got it back home? We'll be looking at that in 20 minutes' time. Do you do much shopping while you're here?
I might.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Not usually, but I might have a go.
Well, we'll talk to you in about 20 minutes' time, Phil. That's the sort of things we're doing between now and 8:45. Fiona, what are you up to?
I shall tell you now, Eamon. We are live from South Africa, live from London this morning. From this end of the operation, this is what we've got for you. We'll be looking at the Millennium Bug. One family scared of it. They've gone up north to get away from it. Gwyneth Paltrow jetted into London.
Is it? Oh, tongue-tied. Millennium. Talk about the Millennium. I worked out yesterday, Fiona, where I'm going to spend the Millennium if I can, and that's on top of that Table Mountain. We heard all the plans they have there for New Year's Eve 1999. They're going to have a whole carnival, tented area, whatever, and people can go up to the top of the mountain and do whatever they want, really, to see the new Millennium. And a few unanswered questions about South Africa. Very strange place in many ways. Why do all their soft drinks come in wee dinky-dumpy cans like this? That's cute, isn't it?
It's lovely, yeah. Why do they?
Isn't it? Why, I don't know why they do. Why are ours double? It's just, you know, I just find that strange. All their tin cans are like this. Matt Downing is our sound engineer, Fiona, one of them. So if anything goes wrong here, it's because he's talking to me instead of working here. And it's just interesting getting the perspective in life. There's so many different things. Traffic lights are called...
Robots.
Robots. Yes. Robots. They're called robots. Roundabouts are very new for you, and nobody knows how to use them. Roundabouts on the road.
Yeah, the driving here is notoriously bad. I don't know if it's people that they don't know how to use them. They just don't. They just don't go by the rules.
Ignore them.
Yeah.
They've only been introduced for a few years. Roundabouts are new. What you are used to, well and truly, is the lifestyle that this lovely, lovely climate brings.
Yeah.
How do you combine work and play?
Well, I live here. I moved from Johannesburg about a year ago. I live here now because I moved down for the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Here you work to earn a living. In Johannesburg they work because they want to work. We live here because of the scenery. I mean, you can scuba dive, you can paraglide, you can parachute, and it's brilliant. So, you know, as a freelancer here in our industry, especially,
you pick your own hours.
Yeah,
that's what you do. Yeah. So it is a great outdoor type of life, and basically after the break, Fiona, I have been doing a little bit of shopping, and I'll tell you what I got up to and what I'm bringing you home right after this break.
Okay.
Out of Africa, in association with South African Airways.
Well, GMTV coming live from South Africa, and you never know just who drops in. Phil Cool, literally, impressions Phil literally off an airplane.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're so white.
Half an hour ago, yeah. That's why I've been standing in the shade over there for 5 minutes. Yeah.
And how did you know where we were?
We could hear you.
He was like everybody else. You want to see all these folks here, which is absolutely true. They're all getting phone calls from home. They're here on holiday. There you are, you're live on telly. And they've travelled from everywhere. They're all coming from all over to see us here this morning. So that's the biggest audience we've had all year, Fiona. That's brilliant.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Phil, will this humour of yours travel?
Yeah, a lot of it's global stuff, you know, like Jagger. I mean, there's no Jagger around here, won't there? Yeah. Sort of like Cape Town. Didn't I get married here once? Or was it twice? I know.
Of course, they're all quite very Brit friendly here at the moment. The Prime Minister was here a couple of weeks ago, and he's gone down very well.
Did he?
So to speak.
Well, I was going to do a blur for you, but I don't know whether I should because I've not perfected the voice because I've never heard him, you see. Yeah. Well, tell a lie, I heard him once. Didn't like what I heard and turned the volume down. But I've got him in vision only for you. Do you want to blur in vision only from South Africa? It's that constant pleading and then that big smile.
That's it. You don't need any voice to go with that. You really don't. Now, you're going to have to work out what to bring back home when you're here. And when you travel along the road, just out and about, you'll see lots of little guys trading by the sides of the road. Right. And it is amazing. Just take a look at this. Now, there I was, minding my own business, driving along the road, and we saw this. We just had to stop, and I've come in to admire a number of bottoms, because on the bottoms of whether it's water buffalo, hippopotamus, or warriors, are the price tags of what these cost. 55 quid. And that could be yours. Eh? 55 quid. Absolutely amazing. As I say, just by the side of the road, just take a look. They're carved out of wood, they're carved out of stone. How do they do that? Me, personally, I'm not interested because I couldn't put this in my suitcase to bring it home. But it's very, very nice chili. Who would buy something like this?
No, anyone.
Yeah?
Anyone, especially those with, you know, big houses, those ones with businesses, you know, anyone.
Yeah? Now, I just want to see how much something like this would cost, because you've got price stickers attached to them all. No, there's nothing. How much? Oh, there it is up there. Yeah. About, in pounds, that's about 850 pounds. Now, what sort of animal is this?
A sable.
A sable?
Yeah, sable.
A sable. And that's a sort of, is it a sort of antelope or something, or? Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. So, for 850 quid, a sable could be yours. Not mine.
Or two. Both of them.
It's about, well, maybe actually, there's not me, but there's a man with me who's the director here, Michael. He always likes things. Two, Michael, two for 850 quid. Between my case and yours, yes, maybe we could, yes, yeah, okay, it's a deal, right.
Okay.
I know. See, how do you, see, Fiona, it was such a good bargain. I just have to find a way of bringing that home. You know, will that fit in your house?
I'd love it. I'd love it. I'd have sensible conversations with it too, and it wouldn't talk back.
Yeah, it's a sort of fertility symbol. It's a bit late for you,
I don't need that at the moment, no. I don't even know if I'm married now, Eamon Holmes, so...
Yes, you were telling you lots and lots of complications. Phil, first impressions of where we are here today in the mountains.
Fantastic. That mountain up there with with the clouds around it. It's like, you can imagine Moses coming out of there, can't you, with his 2 tablets of stone.
Oh, it is. Very charged and Heston-esque. Yeah. It is. Now, I know you're here, you're writing, you're getting lots of inspiration, no better place, and, you know, so as long as the sun keeps shining, every good luck, and I know you've been off the scene for a couple of years, so I hope everything gets better for you.
It will.
So, thank you very much indeed. And next time you're back with us, Fiona, we're going to have lots of great music, a fantastically colourful group called the Minstrels, and they're going to give us a bit of a carnival atmosphere here on the beach.
Lovely. How come all the men out there this morning are dressed in blue? Every single one you've spoken
Why
to.
Is that? I don't know, it must be just I don't know.
Spooky.
Does it work? That's the question.
It looks absolutely gorgeous out there. We're getting so many phone calls, Eamon. I just want to say bon voyage to John Ruggles. Angela Ruggles, his daughter's phoned in from Camberwell. She says John's off to Cape Town this afternoon. So you can see what it's like, John. It looks absolutely delightful out there, gorgeous. It's the first place I've seen on television, Eamon, that's made me really want to go there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, you just stay where you are. We're having a great time.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. I'll meet John at the airport. No, it's fine.
All right, we'll be back with him later on in the programme. We've still got lots more from this end of the operation as well, including Shakespeare in Love. You must
and I told you the next beach stop's the nudist beach, so thank goodness we just stopped here.
Yeah.
So that's all right. Yeah. But Fiona, the wind's still going, not as strong as it was this morning, and certainly not as strong as it was last night, and it really is quite mild here. But various beaches all tell a story around here. We're 6,000 miles south from London on the Cape of Good Hope here, South Africa. And yesterday we went to a beach which, I showed you penguins earlier today, but strange visitors here. These are baboons. Maybe not exactly what you would welcome, but that really does show you that you're not in Britain, that it is life on the wild side, and that it is South Africa. Now, as the wind whips up again, thank you also to so many people who have come down and seen us this morning. Now, we've got a story to tell here today from this girl who's called Susan Race. And Susan is a very high-powered banking official here in South Africa. Susan, tell us your story. What happened today?
Well, I was in a senior team meeting and I got called and they said, your mother's on the phone, she needs you urgently.
Something wrong?
So I thought, my God, what has happened? So I rushed out and my mum said, Susan, Eamon's at Camps Bay Beach, get down there. And I said, who the hell is Eamon? And she said, Eamon's from GMTV. So here I am, Mum, I told you, hi. And Luke and Joseph, I've even got your scarf on.
So you left this high-powered banking meeting. The economy can go to rack and ruin, but you're down here to please your mum.
I said I've got to get down there and say hi to them.
There you are.
Here I am.
You go back and run the country now. Away you go. That's Susan Race. Thank you, Susan. God bless. Hello, Mum. Thank you very much indeed. The lovely music you can hear in the background. It is from the Minstrels. We will leave you here in Camps Bay. Until tomorrow, we're on the waterfront. Table Bay Hotel. See you then.
It looks wonderful out there, doesn't it? I'm just going to write that down for our quotes, actually. I should be re-quoting this again and again. Who the hell is Eamon? Right, I should be using that time and time again. Now, you know who our next lady is. She's here in the studio. Yep, Lorraine Kelly is with you now. I'll see you again. We'll be live from South Africa, live from London tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Here's Lorraine.
Thanks, Fiona. Thanks very much. That was great, that. It was